Activision has single-handedly killed another game that people actually want to play. And this time, they did it twice in one day. They killed two birds with one stone. It's gotten so bad to the point where they are currently trending on the Bluebird app, which I'm sure they probably don't care or will even read, because I feel like at this point, they're so completely tone deaf to anything the community wants. They don't care. But if you don't know what I'm rambling about, and you haven't opened your eyes yet, you'll see something on the screen, and that game is called SM2.
So in typical Activision fashion, they're just gonna completely get rid of anything that's cool and nice and anything that we actually want. They're just gonna continue force feeding us the gruel that they make and want to act like they're still making the best content that they can. It's so crazy too. Now, I've been seeing a good amount of people saying stuff like, oh, I expected this and all this other shit. Like, I mean, I expected it too, to be fair. But just because I expected it doesn't mean that, like, I'm still not disappointed. I was hoping, since things like Plutonium and X Labs and all that other shit are around, I was hoping that it would just be fine. One of the most annoying things possible, man, is seeing the people sit there and defend Activision in the process of them taking this whole thing down. They're like, legality-wise, they definitely are able to do it. I'm not saying that they're not able to do it. I'm just saying, like, they care so much for obvious reasons. They're scared. They're intimidated by it. They're literally scared. They're so scared of a little modded client. And here's another thing. I'm just gonna say it how it is. They're like, well, it is Activision's property. Can I just say it like this? I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it's their property. I don't care. Oh well. They don't use it anymore. They don't support it anymore. And instead of allowing people to enjoy it, they would rather try to shut down every single way that there is to possibly play it, because they know that their current games are worse. They literally know.
I think it was like a completely free fan-made type of thing. Like, these guys were making this project purely because they love Call of Duty and they loved the project that they were doing. I wonder though, if Modern Warfare 2 had done well, like if Modern Warfare 2 wasn't in the current state that it was in, would they actually be intimidated? I feel like because this client was so close to coming out, so many people were hyping up this fan-made, you know, community thing, that Activision actually got intimidated by these guys.
For some perspective, imagine that you're a small development team that has been working for over 2 years on a project that has gone unpaid. You're not being paid by anyone to do this. You're purely just volunteering your time, trying to make the best project that you possibly can for your community, and then all of a sudden you get a cease and desist order from a multi-billion-dollar company that's going to shut everything down. And obviously, since you're a small team that doesn't have the money or the resources to fight this cease and desist order, you have to shut down your operations. And on top of that as well, you have to drop the bad news on the community that the game is being shut down by Activision. Well, I don't know if it's just Twitter, man, but I've seen people actually getting mad at the developers of SM2 because the cease and desist order from Activision has shut the game down. So now we've got some super entitled people that are mad at the creators of SM2 because they're not getting their game, instead of getting mad at Activision because they're the ones that caused all of this in the first place. I swear, man, these are going to be the same people that buy the CDL Champs pack that has just been released and added to Modern Warfare 2. Which, by the way, absolute mega douche of a skin. If you buy this, you're a terrible person. There's just something that makes me like so mad about the fact that Activision is shutting down basically one of the best things to happen to Call of Duty. Obviously, they're not the ones that are behind it, which is probably why they're so upset about it. And then they release the CDL Champs pack the day after.
Look at us. We're the rich kings. We've got all the money. You can't do anything.
I gotta breathe, man. I gotta calm down.
This was a win-win for everybody involved, but of course the Activision bootlickers are going to tell you, oh, they have to protect their intellectual IP. It's just what they have to do. They're not protecting it when it comes to other projects. They don't give a shit. They like that. They're not protecting their IP when it comes to all the random nonsense that people are making with Black Ops 3 mod tools. And why would they? Because that's what it's there. It's a mod tool. It's there to put content into the game by fans, for them to enjoy, right? They're going to try to police it a little bit. They're going to try to moderate it a little bit. But in general, the entire idea of World at War and Black Ops 3 mod tools is so fans can make their own content with the franchise that they love so much. But when fans go and make something like SM2, suddenly that's a problem. It's all completely arbitrary. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's completely unjustifiable, at least in my eyes. I'm going to have a really hard time entertaining any differing opinions about that because it really doesn't make any sense to me. SM2 was going to be a proper by fans for fans project that has now been bullied out of existence thanks to corporate greed, the exact same corporate greed that has been turning long-term Call of Duty fans away from the franchise year after year after year.
The one big thing I hope from this, but also doubt, is that Activision sees how excited the community was for this project and how much hype is surrounding the prospect of more of a return to form with a traditional Call of Duty gameplay style. There are a ton of people out there that really just want Call of Duty to go back to those fundamentals, while of course keeping all of the quality of life and graphics upgrades and things like that. So it would be amazing if Activision learns from this and decides to do something about it in the future, but I definitely doubt that, and that's really too bad. Another thought that pops to mind with this is, why isn't Activision hiring these people? They clearly have a very good understanding of the fundamentals of Call of Duty. They're very familiar with the Call of Duty engines, as they've been working with them for years now. And it seems like they're quite in tune with what the community is looking for as well, at least the core community. And I think people like that would be great additions to the dev teams. Especially since in recent years, it seems like at least some of the dev teams are drifting farther and farther away from the community. And it just seems like a good opportunity to bring some fresh talent with a fresh perspective into things.
They've had to put their dreams away for another day, because not on Activision's watch. Not on. If Call of Duty players are gonna play these games, they're gonna play against hackers, and you are not gonna stop that shit, okay? I'm Activision, and I'm not satisfied with the billions of dollars I make every year, so I have to target independent modders to... What the fuck are you guys doing? And yes, massive corporations need to protect their intellectual property. You know, protect it from what? Protect it from people who are trying to make it better? It's like, you guys abandoned these games. You're still charging fucking full price for Black Ops 2, and you've completely abandoned all support for it, but you'll still charge $60 for it and shut down people who are trying to make the game playable. What fucking sense does that make? This is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Because how Activision treats their older Call of Duty games is really fucking sad and despicable. This is an issue I run into every single time I make a review of an older Call of Duty game, okay? I want to play these games with my friends, and I want to play all the zombies maps, but oh no, what's that? Not everybody has paid $500 for that collective experience. I want to review all the zombies maps I can, and I want to play all the zombies maps I can, but not all my friends have every single COD and all the DLC, and guess what? Activision is still charging full price for all of these fucking games. Games that released over a decade ago. Games don't even have fucking paid map packs anymore, and they're still charging $15 for them. You know what I mean? Like how antiquated that shit is.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks, man. Of course, Activision's got to be the fucking fun police and just shut it down completely. Just at forcing all of us to hop on Warzone 2, because that's in a great spot. I can't even pull over 100 frames with a 3090 and a 5950X CPU. The servers are lagging all over the place. I'm getting packet loss out the fucking ass. Every single World Series of Warzone event is getting delayed. Like, oh, it just makes you wanna erupt. Pause. Because it's like, holy fuck. Out of every Call of Duty, all these Call of Duties coming out nowadays, everybody has all these problems about CODs because they keep making questionable decisions. So many good features of Call of Duty that used to be in COD that have just never been found again. Theater mode, all the one in the chamber, all those fun game modes that we used to have. I can go on, we can make a whole separate video about how many left in the dust features of Call of Duty that there have been, but it's like all those things, man. You just look forward to a game like this made by a bunch of passionate devs that aren't asking for any money. They're not asking for money. They just want to make a great Call of Duty game that everybody can hop on and enjoy. But that's no good for Activision, because you know what? That takes us off of their game, which takes money out of their pockets because we won't spend money on those bundles, man. It is just a full circle fuckfest.
Hey guys, I wanted to make this video to highlight the reactions from Cod Creators towards SM2 shutting down, and I wanted to share my thoughts of this whole situation. I'm going to be talking a little bit about what SM2 was, but I will also link videos that break down the modded client better than I actually will, along with the full videos of each creator that was in the intro of this video. So what is SM2? SM2 was a modded client on PC that was based around the Modern Warfare 2 engine of all the best Call of Duties combined into one. We're talking about all the best guns, all the best maps, all the best experiences that made Call of Duty great. If you haven't noticed already, but the past 4 Call of Duty titles have been drastically different from what Call of Duty was to its core, and this game was supposed to be bringing that back. So we're talking classic minimap, where if you shoot your gun and you don't have a suppressor, it shows up on the radar. No weapon category gets left behind. Every weapon is good, so there is no need to balance weapons like these recent Call of Duties have done. But not only was it combining the best Call of Duty experiences into one, it was also adding new stuff and also having an identity of its own. But not only was it combining the best Call of Duty experiences into one game, it was also bringing in new stuff and having an identity of its own. Some of those new things are the HUD. It's brand new and it's not from previous Call of Duties. They're also creating weapon animations for a lot of these weapons. They're making blueprints for a lot of these older weapons that never had blueprints before. And they're also bringing the COD point system. Not the one you see today where you have to pay $10 for 1,000 COD points to buy the battle pass, or if you're using it to buy a bundle, an operator skin, or a weapon blueprint. No, I'm talking about the old COD point system from Black Ops 1, where you earn all your COD points and you could use it to buy camos, weapons, operator skins. In this case for SM2, you can use it to buy an operator skin, but it's all stuff that you earn in game. You don't use actual money. It's just money that you earn in game. So this is basically like the full package, the best of everything that Call of Duty had to offer. And that just brings the question, why was it shut down? There are many speculations as to why it happened. It originally was in the Modern Warfare 2 engine, but you had to buy Modern Warfare 2 to play SM2. So even if you installed the game, you would have to buy Modern Warfare 2 before you even got to play it, because then the SM2 devs legally get to use the assets and Activision profits off of SM2's success, because without a copy of Modern Warfare 2, you don't get to play SM2. But people say that because they switched to the H1 engine, which made SM2 free to play and you wouldn't have to buy anything, that's why it got shut down. But I just don't believe that to be the case, because SM2, before SM2 there was Plutonium, and Plutonium was free to play for years, and Activision has not touched it for years. They have not sent a cease and desist, they haven't sent a letter, they haven't sent an email, they haven't done nothing for Plutonium. Another reason why that's true as to why SM2 didn't just get shut down for that reason is that X Labs also got shut down. X Labs, which is, you had to buy a copy of Black Ops 3 before you got to play their BO3 client. So there's no way that's the case, that this game SM2 got shut down because it switched over to the H1 engine. So I mean, that just leaves the COD community, or people who are really looking forward to this game, confused. It's the only reason as to why it actually got shut down is because Activision is scared. They're scared. They can't make a real game themselves. They can't make a real good, great Call of Duty themselves. So they have to resort to cease and desist and get people to play their shitty ass games. That's literally the only reason I can think of. Because it's why don't you just... The reason we even do this sort of stuff is because you don't do it yourself. You don't do it yourself, so we have to take it into our own hands. And not only that, even if we were to go back and play these older Call of Duties, they're filled with hackers. They are literally unplayable. Not only that, but the hackers have access to all your information once you log on to the game. They will leak your IP address and your personal information. We literally can't even go and play these older Call of Duties. We have to make these modded clients because we can't play the older Call of Duties. They're not safe. But of course, Activision doesn't care. They want you to play their game, even though no one plays it. They want you to buy their bundles, their weapon blueprints, all that. All they care is about increasing their profits. They don't actually care about the consumers, about us, the COD community, who have been loyal to them for many years. By the way, I'm not talking about the past 4 Call of Duties when I mean older CODs. I'm talking about Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1. All these older Call of Duties, they're not safe to play, and we can't even go back and enjoy them and relive some of our childhoods. We're not able to do that because they're not safe. And for the most part, this isn't to put down some of Call of Duty's work over the past 4 years. Me personally, I think Modern Warfare 2019 to Vanguard were decent games. They're just not the best of what Call of Duty could be. And that's what I feel like a lot of COD fans are missing. They just want a great Call of Duty like the past, like classic Call of Duty, even to that, just classic Call of Duty. The only one out of those 3 Call of Duties from Modern Warfare 2019 to Vanguard, the only one that was close to classic Call of Duty was Cold War, and that's what I'm playing right now because it's the best. In my opinion, it's the best out of 3. That's for another video or for another debate or another discussion. But Modern Warfare 2019 was solid. Black Ops Cold War was solid. Vanguard was solid. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but that's just my opinion. But the thing is about these games, as they had good things about them, but they also had a lot of bad about them. That's the thing. Cold War being the least out of those 3. And I didn't even buy Modern Warfare 2022, so I'll talk about that later in the video. But Modern Warfare 2019, the issues that a lot of the COD community had was that, doors, shotguns, claymores, skill-based matchmaking, respawn delays, the challenges like mounting, it just catered towards noobs and all these like camper-like aspects of the game that essentially shouldn't be rewarded. And out of the 3, the most fun I did have was Modern Warfare 2019. I had the most fun. I had the most fun playing it. There was a lot of good in it, but there was just those things that I just listed off that made the game really hard to play, really hard to continue playing. Very different from classic Call of Duty. So, and then there's Cold War, where skill-based matchmaking was the worst out of those 3 games. It felt like I was playing Optic Gaming every other match, and it's like, do I really have to sweat every game just for me to level up my weapons? And to make it worse, leveling up weapons, I would drop 40 kills a game with a weapon, and then I would only level it up once. So, like, I know that after year 1, skill-based matchmaking got cranked down, but I mean, they still didn't fix the whole weapon progression pacing, because it really made the experience for Cold War, at least for me at first, really bad, and it made me end up quitting the game. And then you have Vanguard. The combat pacing made the game a lot better. That was the only one out of the 3 that made the game. Like, if Modern Warfare 2019 had combat pacing and it didn't have respawn delay because Vanguard ended up taking it out, it would have been game over. I feel like that alone would have made the experience for Modern Warfare 2019 a lot better. But there's a lot of things that weren't good. Ammunition types. Why did you even introduce that? Breaking the walls, breaking down. I'm not playing Battlefield. I'm playing Call of Duty. It was very weird. And then the weapon customization wasn't like 2019. It was a lot more complex. There were many variables that Modern Warfare 2019 didn't have. It was very simplistic in 2019, but Vanguard was just so different, and it made the experience not so good for a lot of people. I think that's a lot of people's problems, like the walls and the weapon customization. Call of Duty from 2019 through 2021 weren't terrible Call of Duties, but they could be so much better. The Call of Duty devs, Activision, or whoever is up there in charge, isn't listening to our feedback. They aren't listening to us, which is why we kind of have to resort to making our own Call of Duty using their assets, because they don't even support it anymore. We have to make our own modded clients just so we can play classic Call of Duty again. And it really shows with this latest Call of Duty. I didn't even buy it, and believe it or not, I actually pre-ordered the game and I was looking forward to it. But after looking at the alpha and after looking at the beta and gameplay, I was just like, I don't think I'm going to buy this game. I don't think I want to commit to this pre-order that I have, and I'm just going to request a return instead, because I thought they would be listening to us, man. Just like the maps, classic mini map, the gun customization, movement. That's one of the major things. One of the major things that just shows to me that they're not listening is they literally killed the movement. Like, no one asked for this. Why bring it to Call of Duty and make fans in love with the mechanic or whatever the case may be, and then just take it away from us? It really shows with Modern Warfare 2 2022 and Warzone 2 that they're just not listening to us. And that was the last straw for me with this latest game. I'm like, if you're not going to listen to us, if you're not going to communicate with us, if you're not going to implement anything we want, why do I even want to play or purchase your game anymore? If you're not going to listen to us and all you care is about increasing your profits, I don't want to play your game anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people aren't playing it. It's the fastest, it's the most purchased Call of Duty, and the fastest and the quickest to die after its release. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like hearing that or aren't going to believe that, but there are many articles that I saw online, on my feed even. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to like Modern Warfare 2 and the news and its updates, but I saw on my feed like it is the most purchased Call of Duty of all time and the quickest to die after its release. Which is insane, you know? You think that because it's the most purchased, people would be playing, but that's what happens when you don't listen, man. That's what happens. It's well deserved, in my opinion. They deserve everything. Activision or Call of Duty, the Call of Duty devs, the people who aren't listening to us, deserve everything that has come to them. Modern Warfare 2 2022 has a disaster. It's a failure, along with Warzone 2. And that just shows, man, like, if we come together as the COD community, if we come together and boycott or just not play the game, not purchase the game, don't buy anything from Call of Duty, it just shows that we have more power than we might think. And that brings up the question, like, what can the Call of Duty community do? What can we do together? And it's just, don't play the game. Don't buy their latest game, because that's what I'm going to do. Unless they make a huge change and they're actually listening to us, like none of these minor changes, like they actually have to listen to us, and there has to be someone in there from our community to speak up for us, and they actually have to implement these changes, because if they don't, we're back to square one. So we have to do that. We should not buy their latest Call of Duty if they're not going to be making those big changes and if they're not going to be listening to us. But then that leaves us with nothing to play, right? Or is there something else that COD players can play? So me personally, I have been playing older Call of Duties, and I actually have been having a bit of fun. Not a lot of fun, but some fun at least. Black Ops Cold War has actually been, I took it for granted, and it's actually not that bad, so I've been playing that. But if you don't want to be playing older Call of Duties, what else can we play? Recently, I actually got a chance to play X Defiant, and if Call of Duty 2023 doesn't make actual changes that the COD community wants, I'm going to be playing that. X Defiant was such a good... I had so much fun playing X Defiant, and I think I'm honestly going to be making the switch to that. There's no skill-based matchmaking. The pacing of the game is good. The designs of the maps are incredible, and it's free to play, You give it a try, but me personally, that's what I'm going to be hopping on. So some other games that you could try out are Fortnite and Apex Legends. Now, I know how people feel about Fortnite, but just hear me out. Look, I'm not too much of a fan of Fortnite either, but I can't deny its success and that they're actually listening to their fans. At least from the outside looking in, I don't really play Fortnite that much, but I've played it because I haven't been playing Call of Duty as much or Warzone 2 as much, and it's actually a lot of fun. The no build mode is one of the big changes that they made that the Fortnite community actually wanted. And look at its success. I personally think that Fortnite was going down the drain before no build mode came out. If it weren't for no build mode, I think Fortnite would have been dead by now. So good for them, honestly. They listen to their community and they've had success because of it. There are also new Call of Duty type game modes in Creative 2.0 that creators that Fortnite fans and Call of Duty fans have worked together to make these new game modes that COD fans can play and Fortnite fans can play as well. So give it a try, you might like it. Apex Legends is another game that has been successful since its release. And if you were a fan of movement in Warzone 1, Apex Legends honestly might be the game for you. It's honestly a lot of fun. Just me personally, I'm not good at the game, and I don't have pretty much anyone to play with, so I can't really play it. But if you do have friends to play with, then definitely give it a shot because the Battle Royale experience in that game is incredible. One of the best I've seen. Definitely give it a shot. But yeah, man, it's an unfortunate situation. This was the dream Call of Duty. This was the Call of Duty of not only my dreams, but the COD community's dreams. I was really looking forward to this game, man, but not only was it catering towards regular Call of Duty players, but it was also catering towards other players as well. Like trollers. Like, you don't even see that anymore in these modern Call of Duties. The way I found out about Vanoss was through Call of Duty, and unfortunately, he even admitted, like, I'm unable to do Call of Duty content anymore because just how these new games have worked, and they're just not how they used to be. And for me personally, you guys know I'm a sniper, but above that, I'm also a trick shotter. And this game was going to offer a lot of people that opportunity. I really feel like this game was going to be a big opportunity, was going to be the opportunity for my channel to grow. But all of that went down the drain because of a selfish company like Activision. Sending out cease and desist to people that just want to make the game better. We're just some passionate Call of Duty fans that want to play classic Call of Duty. But we can't do that with a company like this. So I've already made my decision. I'm not going to be playing this new Call of Duty that's coming out this year unless they listen to us. That's what it'll take for me to actually purchase the game. They actually have to listen to us. It can't just be minor changes. We have more power than we think together as a community. Because if that weren't the case, then Modern Warfare 2022 and Warzone 2 would be a success, but they're not. We can see it through the player base and through the viewership. It failed. And because of that, that should encourage us, that should fuel us to boycott this company that doesn't care about us and only cares about increasing their profits. We have to continue down this road if we are to gain any type of power with Call of Duty. Lastly, let's just give a shout out to the SM2 devs, man, because they did this all for free, unpaid. They did this on their own time while they have to work their other jobs. And they did this purely because they have a passion for Call of Duty and because they love the franchise. Let's just give a round of applause to them, man. Because they are the MVPs. They deserve the world. If SM2 actually released and they were to set up a donation account so they can continue supporting the game and paying for the servers, I was gonna donate like I was paying for a full game for SM2 because they deserve it. These guys deserve it, man. This game was gonna be the best Call of Duty of all time, no question. So shout out to you guys, man. You guys are the real MVPs. And just to close it off to the SM2 devs, I know you guys feel discouraged. But just know that there were hundreds of thousands of people that were actually looking forward to you guys' work. You guys are very talented and very capable, and if you guys came out and made your own game, we would play your game 100%. Or if you got hired by a game like X Defiant or Combat Master or any of these other shooters games, we would support you guys because you guys are the GOATs, man. Thank you guys so much for your work. This is Ice Cold Joe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.